Nurses in the United States spend, on average, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours per shift on documentation. 2 to 4 hours. That's time away from patients, away from your family when you're finishing charts at home at 11 p.m., and honestly, it's time you're not being paid extra for. AI tools are starting to change this. And I'm not talking about some distant future. Nurses across the country are using these tools right now to get that time back. Today I'm going to walk you through the real workflows they're using, so you can decide if any of them make sense for you. Let's start with the biggest category: AI-assisted nursing notes. Tools like Suki and Freed AI were originally built for physicians, but nurses are adopting them fast. The core workflow is simple. Before or during a patient interaction, you speak naturally, describing what you observed, the patient's complaints, what interventions you performed. The AI converts that into a structured nursing note that follows your organization's documentation format. One ICU nurse I came across in a Reddit thread described cutting her end-of-shift charting from 45 minutes down to 12. She records quick voice memos throughout the shift on her phone, then lets the AI organize them into a chart note at the end. That's the kind of compounding time savings that adds up to hours per week. Now, a word on HIPAA. You should never use a consumer app, like the standard version of ChatGPT or a random voice memo app, to document patient information. The tools I'm discussing here have business associate agreements and are designed for healthcare environments. Always check with your facility's compliance team before adopting any new documentation tool. The second category is AI for shift handoffs. Handoff communication is one of the highest risk moments in patient care, and it's also time-intensive. Several nurses are now using structured AI prompts to generate SPAR-formatted handoffs from their chart notes. You paste in the relevant patient data, the AI drafts the handoff summary, you review and adjust. What used to take 10 minutes per patient can be done in 2. Third, AI for care plan language. Writing individualized care plans is genuinely difficult, especially when you're responsible for 5 or 6 patients simultaneously. Some nurses are using AI tools to generate draft care plan language. Nursing diagnoses, expected outcomes, interventions, based on the patient's diagnosis and presentation. Again, you review and customize. The AI handles the structural scaffolding, you bring the clinical judgment. Fourth category, AI for continuing education and certification prep. This one might surprise you. Nurses are using AI tools to create personalized study guides, generate practice questions, and explain complex pharmacology in plain language. If you're studying for your CCRN or preparing for a specialty certification, AI can function as a 24/7 tutoring resource. Now, is this going to replace nursing? No. The clinical judgment, the patient connection, the hands-on assessment, none of that is being automated. What AI can do is handle the administrative and documentation burden that was never the core of nursing anyway. The practical takeaway: if you're a nurse and you've never experimented with AI documentation tools, start small. Most of the tools I mentioned offer free trials. Try one during a low-stakes shift. See how the note quality compares to what you'd write manually. If it saves you 30 minutes per shift, that's 2.5 hours per week back in your life. Links to the specific tools mentioned, including how to evaluate whether they're compatible with your facility's EHR, are in the description. Subscribe if you work in healthcare and want to stay ahead of how AI is changing your workflow. We post new content every week.